Father Muhammad.
Assalamualaikum and welcome back to another episode of Chit Chat Ramadan 2.0. I'm your host Numan Adam, and for today's episode we have a very prominent guest. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Dr. Harmi Takzim Muhammad.
Thank you, Numan. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Doctor.
Waalaikumsalam.
Since when did you start your journey as a media practitioner? Can you share with us your experience from day one until now?
Thank you. For me to share from day one till now, how much time you have?
Maybe you can like a brief
Okay.
explanation.
A summary to it was I graduated from this university way back in 1995. Then I joined the company briefly as a PR executive before I was headhunted by TV3 in September 96. Then I became, my career started, I became broadcast journalist for TV3. And mainly at that time my job was to gather news and then write news for news segment in Bulletin Utama, our main news. And then also for the English news at night. And then some work of translation from the foreign news from Reuters and AFP that we received. Then we have to translate the story from overseas. That's how I started and how I was trapped in this world of production. Okay. Yeah, and then I became news presenter, news reader for TV3 almost a year after that, in 1997. Before I became a sports presenter and commentator for TV3. That's a process that I have to go through. So take years for us to reach at that level. And then I hosted few program over there. If I remember, namely the World Cup '98, Euro football 2000, and I was also the host for Formula 1 program for TV3. Started in 1999, and then I went to few sporting program like SEA Games in Jakarta. And
so did you actually went to Jakarta for the?
Yes, we went to Jakarta to do the coverage in Jakarta because and then we went to Brunei to do coverage over there. Asian Game in Bangkok, I remember. And then I went to further my studies in UK when I received an award from the government of Britain, British Achievement Award. Upon coming back, I quit TV3 for my own company. Then I work as a freelance with RTM until now. With RTM, yes, because it's a longer time with RTM. So I did the Olympic since 2004 in Athens until the recent Tokyo Olympic 2020, which we did it in 2021. And the last I did for RTM was the Winter Olympic 2022 in Beijing. With RTM, I have a lot of other programs. I hosted the F1 program. I hosted Thomas Cup football and so many other things that I can't remember. So all, but then each and every sports. And I'm also a presenter. The host for Fox Sport in Singapore. I did Formula 1, especially Formula 1, MotoGP, and then the golf and our other sport. In Malaysia now, I also commentator for Malaysian Cup Prix and the commentator for Sepang International Circuit. And because of that also, my involvement not only in front of the camera but behind the camera. We produce a lot of TV program for our client in and outside Malaysia. I've been to all over the world because of my work, and then that's it. And to summarize, that my career started in 1996 until now in this field.
I can see that you travel a lot with your career, and you have a very special connection with RTM, considering you have longer with them. So we all know that you've earned a bachelor's degree in English language and literature from IIUM. But however, you began your broadcasting journey, media production field as a sport news broadcast journalist. Why do you choose sport as your main
Why do I use
production?
sports? Because if you look at me physically, you will not believe that I was a footballer for IIUM before. I used to weigh only 1/3 of my weight now, so be careful.
It's
Uh,
okay.
I, I, because sports is always close in my heart. Ever since I was a kid, I love sports, and I watch all kind of sports, and of course, being Malaysian, especially football, I'm a follower of football. I went to stadium to watch football. I'm a Selangor fan. I'm from KL, but then all KL from KL fan of Selangor that time because we were born before 1974, when KL is still part of Selangor, and a die-hard fan for Selangor. But my love really into motor racing. I followed Formula One since a kid. Since I was a kid, I love. I follow all the racing since I was a kid. So when I joined TV3 as a broadcast journalist, it's something that close to my heart when I did sport. So to me, I found I found my home. Yeah, I really feel at home working doing sports.
There.
Yeah, and with a degree of English literature and linguistic, helped me a lot in my work because of at that time I have to do both linguistic and also literature. Linguistic helped me with the science of the language. The usage of the language, the grammar of the language, not only in Bahasa, in English, but also in Bahasa. And the literature part is helped me to write well, and helping me to write well, copying in how to develop the stories, the script, they call it, to become a good script on television. And also, at that time, I studied translation. It's part of my course, learning Benel in IIUM. And that translation helped me a lot to translate. And one of my my specialty in TV3 at that time, I can translate well and fast the story from Reuters or AFP back to Bahasa Malaysia. Or if I need to translate the story that we have from Little Timer for News Hour at that time, Nightline, then I can translate well very fast also because of my skill of learning translation. So that helped me. So this is why I moved from learning. When we learn English literature, doesn't mean that we have to do something like people say, going to be a teacher or something close to it. But it's actually gives me a foundation, the skill, to do and something else. Yeah.
I see. I can see that your bachelor in English language and literature did help you a lot with writing, with with your research and whatnot when you were a media practitioner. So when you had the opportunity to host some of the major sports events such as the FIFA World Cup 1998, Euro 2000, tell me how does it feel like to be part of such an international program? Was it nervous or exciting, or was it both?
Because being a sports fan, is you want to be involved in all these major sporting event. It's like if you someone that you're in the entertainment segment or industry, you want to be there during the Grammy Award, Academy Award. So it's like us doing sports. To be part of these sporting events, this multi-event, especially multi-sport like Olympic or SEA Games, Asian Games, is something special. So during, like, there are two types of doing this. When you mentioned just now, when I did World Cup 98 and Euro 2000 with TV3 that time, we did it from the studio, from KL. It was a hard work. Not enough sleep all the time because of the time different. France and 2000 was in Belgium, if I'm mistaken. Holland, Belgium, yeah. We have 8 hours different. So the game start at 10 at night and 2 o'clock in the morning, our time. So then when I did a 2 o'clock game, then when I go back it's for 5, 6 o'clock, and I have to wake up and prepare for the next day. Next prepare. Because when I was with TV3 that time, not only I was the presenter, the host, but I was also in charge of the content, because I was an assistant producer at that time. So I need to prepare a program that we have in conjunction with the World Cup and also with Euro 2000. So you have to write script, you have to edit, you have to host, juggling. But it's fun, and it's something that I value. But when we go there, when I did SEA Games, when I went to do Asian Game or Commonwealth Game, that is something extra or something more meaningful when you are there during the event and watching the sporting and people all over the world gather to do a sporting event and do the coverage with a high level, with a high intensity, and then the pressure that you have mounting. You must get that story, come back, go back to the studio, and then share with Malaysian. So if Malaysian cannot see, like for example, during Olympic, Lee Chong Wei won silver medal. If Malaysian people cannot get the interview, it's because of your fault. Okay. You cannot get the interview. So that's the kind of pressure that we have. So we must get it. I have to get it, kind of thinking. But yeah, it's interesting.
I see. I can see that being a media practitioner is a very involving process. You have to search your own facts and you have to write your own stories.
Yeah.
But tell me, Doctor, since you love becoming a media practitioner, why did you decide to become a lecturer also? Why not stay in the media industry only?
Good question. Good question. People say that those cannot teach. Those things, I've proven it wrong. I can do, I still do, and I will do, and I still teach. So I'm not a has-been in a way that people say, oh, dia tak laku lagi, people don't want him anymore, he come and teach. I still do this work outside. I'm a commentator for RTM. And, I was with Fox, but unfortunately Fox has been closed down due to all this COVID and everything. Yeah, because it's another long story because of Disney took over Fox, blah 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 blah. But anyway, I still do work like this because of I want to share with the new generation. Teaching has always been part of my blood because of my parent. My late father was a headmaster. My mother, she was a teacher. So I brought up in a teaching family. Mak bapak cikgu. So teaching is always, I love teaching ever since I was a kid. When we play how we call it now, masak-masak or whatever, I always become a teacher. So if we are role playing with my friend, I always want to be a teacher.
I see.
So I love to teach, I love to share my knowledge. So when I come back, why this university? Because this is where I started. Because we are still a young university. We are getting into our 40th anniversary next year. But we are already there, reaching the sky, where a lot of our graduates already on the high post, and then to return back or help giving back to the university. In my case, that I was the first from this university of doing this job. I was the first from this university became a TV presenter. And after me, and or TV news reader. Before me, there's no from IIUM. All the rest from other universities and other places, but I was the first. And yep, I want to see more from this university. We have now a lot of TV personality coming from this university, especially TV Hijrah. And with, I know that one of my students in Media Prima. And yes, I want to give back and then to share my knowledge with the younger generation.
Okay, I see. I can see why you love teaching and you decided to become a lecturer since you have a quite pedagogical background. Both of your parents are teachers. So we can continue with after the commercial break. So stay tuned, people. After this, we are going to continue our Chit Chat Ramadan. Stay tuned. Okay, thank you, people. We are now back after. Okay, thank you, people. We are now back in our Chit Chat Ramadan 2.0. So, Doctor, as I was about to ask you, in this field, do you have any mentor that you look up on? Maybe he or she had inspired you to become who you are today?
Mentor in work, you mean? Yes, of course. When we do his work, when I was studying or when I was a kid, I watched TV program a lot, and like I said, I watched a sports program a lot. So those are the big names at that time. Datuk Hasbullah Awang, Arwah Hasbullah Awang, Rahim Razali, and all these Abdullah Hashim. And with RTM, then with TV3, we have Abu Bakar Tan, Zainal Abidin Raub, at that time Dahlan Makmur, and many other names. Watching them grow up, when I grew up watching them on television, I want to be like them. And I don't know how to be like them because I didn't know that I can be like them. But then when I joined TV3 and started to know them, and then wanting to be like them, of course you will follow one of the two and to look at their style. And you know, when to be honest with you, I never dreamed that I can become what I became. I just wanted to do sports because I would love sports so much. To be close to sport is not enough. So when they asked me to do, when TV3 told me that they want me to be TV presenter, also it's a huge honor, and then I know it's a big responsibility. So I look up to Zainal Abidin Raub, Abu Bakar Tan. Those are my closest person at that time, because they were my boss at that time. Zainal and Bakar, and of course I have seniors, Dahlan Makmur, Jasni Shafi'i, Jalil Makdum inside there, and doing sport presenting, and we have Datuk Rasadi Barazi, and some other names I might forget, but these people are close to me, especially Zainal and Bakar, because of both of them. Every day I see them. So this is where I get my knowledge, and then I inspire to be like them. When I watch them doing the program, and I was in a way trained by both of them also, in a very traditional way, and I learned a lot.
Traditional, in the sense of?
Well, I was what do you call it? Mentored by them, and it's not easy to work under. I mean, to be, because to be what they want me to be. What I meant is that it takes a lot of hard work. It took a lot of hard work for me, and they taught me a lot, and they trained me, and they being hard on me in a sense that to make sure that I become a good. So like I laugh because at that time I was really annoyed, but then I know what they are doing, and I did the same thing too to my juniors, so that if you want to learn, you want to be in this field, you have to be good, not because you want to be on television, because it's actually a responsibility that you deliver, you do commentary, people listen to you. So if you don't do your work well, you bring bad image to the station that you work for, and the people, because in production, not only one person, like for example in this production, not only you as a host that matters, but the rest of the crew matters. The producer, the assistant producer, the camera operators, all those people are important. So when you did not do, one of us did not do our job well, and then the program was bad, and everybody get the bad name. So that responsibility on your shoulder as a host, because you're the last person. The people, the rest have done their work. Now it's up to you. So if you delivered well in front of television and the program became successful, so you also become, be part of successful program. So this is something that how Zainal and Bakar, when they push me, they want me to make sure that I reach that level, and I thank them a lot. I really thank Zainal and Bakar and the rest, of course, in RTM, Abdullah Hashim, Arwah, Hasbullah Awang, because I spend my time a little bit with TV3, but most of the time, like I said, I was in RTM since 2003. So people in RTM helped me a lot. Those all my seniors, Sheikh Abi Jirim, Abdullah Hashim, Wara, and many others helped me a lot. And of course, watching them since I was a kid and try to emulate them, that helped me to be what I am today.
I see. I can hear that you mentioned a lot of prominent names that have impacted your life in such a way for you to become who you are today. So that's good for you. I want to ask you, based on your experiences all this while, what are the characteristics of a good media practitioner? Maybe can you enlighten them?
Media practitioner, there's a lot of that meaning is broad. Either you want to be a TV host, or you want to be a newsreader, you want to be a journalist, you want to be a broadcast journalist, so, or editor or producer. So many, and I carried almost half more than half of what I said just now. So I am consider myself as a journalist. I was a broadcast journalist, an editor, a producer, assistant producer. All this I have experienced. Number one is first and foremost, and I share this to my students also in class, is dedication and commitment and punctuality. In media, punctuality is very important. That's why sometimes I'm being hard my student. Last time, if you're late, I will lock the door. Because of on television, you have to be punctual. Our program starts at 2:30. It will start at 2:30. We cannot start at 2:45, 2:40, 2:50, at 3 o'clock. Punctuality, and then dedication. Dedication is you must be dedicated in doing what you are. You must love in what you're doing. If you don't love what you do, because when I did when I involved in production, you have no weekends.
Oh.
You have no outing. Basically, you have no life.
You sacrifice your weekends.
Yeah. And for you to go out with your girlfriend also difficult. And most of us married among each other. My wife, I met her in the newsroom of TV3.
Wow.
Then we got married, but she went out, and now she's in other field. But then that's where we met. But it's dedicated because I love the job so much that we dedicate our life to it. And you put, especially for me, that I don't have background in broadcasting, in journalism, because like you said just now, my background is in English literature, so I have to work doubly harder than the rest for me to catch up. I don't know anything about doing video editing. I need to learn about the video editing. I don't know anything about writing, because writing for broadcast is different from writing normal script. Yeah. So I need to learn all that. So you need dedication. You need hard work, like the punctuality, to be successful in this field. If you don't have that, you don't have the heart to do that, then it's difficult for you to be success.
I see. I can see that you are very dedicated and very, what do you call it, hardworking in your field for you to be successful as you are right now. So I have a question. If you are a sports broadcast media practitioner, have you considered entertainment such as AJL or APBH? Can you perform the same as you are a sports practitioner?
Like I said to you, because of what we love to do. I'll be honest with you. If at that time TV3 transferred me from sports to entertainment, they want me to do AJL. I might, but I will not do as good as I do when I do sports, because I don't really into entertainment. I don't know the artist. like I know the sportsman at that time. You name whoever they are, then I can explain to you. Because being in sports, like now in Formula One, for example, name the team, name the car, name the person, and the background and the history. I can do all. But when you do entertainment, you show me your face, a Malaysian singer, I don't know. So how am I going to do the work when it's not from your heart? But if you have to do it as a job, you have to do it, but it will not be as good. That is, and when I was with TV3, the last time, the last before I quit, I was supposed to do. It's already in the roster, but I quit. MHI. So I supposed to do MHI, partnered with Nizal. Then I quit TV3. So they were not happy with that. But MHI is okay. It's a talk show. I can do talk show, inshallah, no problem. Because of it's almost the same that I do in sports. But when you do another extreme like entertainment or politics, for example, put me something to do commentary on politics. What happened in Parliament today, and so and so and so. So I'm not into politics. So you cannot deliver the best that you can.
I see. So I believe, from what I hear, sports really do have a special place in your heart. So considering that you are an expert and knowledgeable in your broadcasting industry, have you ever worked with the young people or youngsters, around my age?
I have worked a lot with my juniors, and some of them really that became my what they call it,
acquaintance, colleagues?
No. They became a student of mine in one sense. What do you call it in Star Wars? Is Padawan. Yeah. So they became my apprentice. That's the word I want to say.
Apprentice.
I became their Padawan. So they became my apprentice, and they followed me, and I share with them the knowledge, and then from them they pick up. So I've helped. I work with Azlan Mubin, Izwan Makno, Nurul Fatihah, Rasdi Jumaat. I help them and share with them whatever I can, and to push them, and to be, because once upon a time people push me, like I said, Zainab and Baka push me, and it's never for me to push at them too. So by pushing them forward, and then it's up to them how to fly. I give them the knowledge, and then I guide them on how to do it and how to fly, and how high they want to fly is really up to the person. That person will decide themselves. So yeah, I worked with youngsters before, and I don't mind working with youngsters again. But even in this university, when I came back, I have a course called now I'm teaching TV presenting and announcing. That's a course, yeah. So now in this semester, that few semesters already I've been teaching the subject, but now in this semester we're teaching that subject. So in this subject, that I give them the knowledge that I have as a TV host and a newsreader, and how to be a good TV host and newsreader. Because to me, that if any of the young people want to be like us, so why not? Because I'm not the kind of person who will stop you from doing that, because you will in a way interfere with my work, and then because you are younger people, better looking, but to me, all rizki from Allah. So if you help people, then of course Allah will repay you. So not to worry about that. So whoever want to teach, want to learn, I will teach. So and that's how I look at things. Yeah.
So I believe that you are a very supportive senior to your juniors.
Yeah.
You give them really good advices. So in your opinion, of today's youngsters who wanted to be hosts and journalists, do you have like anything to like maybe tell them, like what do you call it, a hint before joining the media industry?
It's a the same like I said just now of you have to be
dedicated,
and then the punctuality number one. But first of all, you have to have the heart to do this, because it's a jungle out there, and it's hard to survive in this field, especially when we have a TV station that more than when I was doing this work. We have only TV1, 2, TV3. Now we have hundreds of television. Then to get attention from people is not easy. So it's difficult, but you can do it. That's the way of doing it. And at that time we get no choice. 8 o'clock you have to watch either 1, 2, 3 for news. So now you got even have Netflix and all this. So you have to be strong. Yeah,
I understand. So back then it was you only have your options are limited. So you only have like only 3 news broadcasting channels. So it's not as right now we have YouTubes, we have TikTok, we have a lot of things right now. So I believe that you really need to have the dedication. You really need to have the passion if you want to become a host. So I think we are gonna continue with our commercial break. So stay tuned and we'll be back after the commercial break. Thank you. Assalamualaikum. We are now back after our commercial break with our guest, Dr. 𝐸𝐚𝐺 Muhammad. So, Doctor, we are going to jump into something more into our into our environment right now, which is Ramadan.
All right.
So, Doctor, how is your Ramadan going so far? Especially after 2 years of lockdown, now people are slowly getting back together. We can perform prayers at the mosque without, social gap. Do you think that the vibe could be the same as before the Ramadan, as before the COVID started?
Alhamdulillah. This year my Ramadan is alhamdulillah good. That I can go to Tarawih here because I come to IIUM our mosque, Shah Mosque, to perform my Tarawih inshallah. Then I can see a lot of students, and the environment, of course, are different from that we had last time. And being director for CAP, I was in charge on many of these this COVID situation, and I was there in the middle of the action during the Oops Balik Kampung 2020. Remember all the hectic that we had every night, sending students back home. Even last year also we had that, but the biggest was in 2020.
I was part of it. Part of the community.
Yeah. So, but this year I can see when it's good to see our students come back. Good to see the community come back to the campus, and then together we had our Ramadan. The only thing that I realized, I don't know whether it happened before. I don't think so, but maybe I was wrong. Now the students they like to do iftar together under the moonlight.
Yeah.
And this is something good, not something bad. That I will see, inshallah, that I'll bring this method to the management, how to facilitate this maybe with a light. Because of in front of ICC, I saw,
A lot of people, right?
yeah, in
Been
front
there.
of KICT building, they sit together, do iftar, which is very good, very
Yeah.
something different, something that interesting, and it become a unique feature of IIUM.
Yeah, because
Maybe.
when you put the mat and the food and the grass, it becomes very aesthetic for, stories,
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yes.
So that's why.
So as for Ramadan, for this university, that I, it's great for me to see my students back. It's great to have to um, to do my Ramadan here in IIUM, because it's always special for many things. Because as a student, I had experience of Ramadan in IIUM as a staff. I also now currently experiencing um, Ramadan here. So going to the mosque at night, and with all this, the uniqueness of this university. So when you perform your tarawih in a mosque surrounded by international students, so automatically you feel like you are not in Malaysia anymore. You are somewhere else. So it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. And then this is bring the more colorful factor of this university, the diversity that we have in this university. Students from all over the world, and then and each of them bring their own culture. Each of them bring their own style. Each of them bring their own. They wear their own
Cultural
yeah,
clothes.
yeah. It's so beautiful, and so, let's say, colorful. So this is something that I value ever since I was a student here in IIUM. Even though I don't feel anything in campus, because of I'm from PJ. So PJ is my campus, not Gombak. I never studied here in Gombak, but the 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 spirit is still the same. The venue might change, but the spirit is still the same. So it's good, yeah.
I see. Well, you're not wrong though. As a UIA student, I also feel that the vibes of Ramadan here is a bit different when you go elsewhere because of the
Yeah.
international of the the vibe is just different here, UIA, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how were the vibes of Ramadan in the media production field? Was it different? Like how do you open your fast when you have a job? Why not?
We have to mm, how to say this? Yes, my experience when I was a broadcast journalist, that I have to do. During Ramadan. The news is at 8. You break Ramadan. You iftar at 7:30 or 7:25 at that time. I remember. So you have to really, you do story. You have to work at the same time. You have to do everything at one time. You cannot stop. Of course, we stop. Then we take iftar. Then we continue with our work. We cannot sit down and eat.
So a light iftar?
No. Yes, we like iftar and continue straight to work. So most of us are like that, because I have to go to studio at 8, and all the news reader have to go to studio at 8. So you have to do makeup. We have to do we have to Salat Maghrib, and then do makeup within spend time of half an hour before going to the studio. And then there goes the same to all the production assistant producers, all the people involved in the production. It was a hectic, and it's like everybody's doing. It's like ants doing their work. The soldiers, everybody is doing their work, and at the same time you have to eat. And then of course, when you outside, and the challenge is when you have to do outside recording during Ramadan. I remember one instance when I have to do. They call it. Rainforest Challenge. Rainforest Challenge is a boy by 4x4 from Cameron Highland. They went in from Perak, Ipoh Perak, from Cameron Highland, across the backbone of Malaysia, Titi Wangsa, and then they went out at Kuala Terengganu. So it was a very hectic journey. There's a lot of hurdle and tasks that all these contestants has to go through. Then we doing the production. So imagine that we have to do shooting during this Ramadan, and then it was hot, and it was tiring. It was hard work. I have to carry camera, carry tripod, and all that during Ramadan. And yes, you can choose not to do fasting, and then when we come back, you can, fast again. But no, this is challenge that I remember that time I said that I must go through. I want to feel how it feels like, when it's very hot. There's no aircon inside the jungle, so then you have to carry things and all this hard work they have to do, and you try to feel that this is how the people, because it's part of Ramadan that we have to feel the suffering of others. So this is how the hardship that some of people have to go through in order for them to make money to live. So, and I have to go through this for only 1 week or 2 weeks. So we push ourselves. I push myself at that time to the limit. And there's no proper iftar for you. There's no proper breaking fast like now we go to Bazaar Ramadan, buy kueh, buy all that. No. Whatever you have in the jungle, you eat.
Oh, really?
Then you continue with your work because it's all day, 24 hours. Sometimes, because the contestant was so, there are many contestants from all over the world. And of course, we have called Chak Wagon, the person who cook. From the first car to the last, normally we are in media and the last, it will take hours to reach. So by the time they reach us, it's already sahur that time. So that's how the condition is, and it's a test. It's up to the person that how the person. Because Ramadan is not an excuse for you not to do your work. And whatever work that you're doing, like me, I am now. I say, okay, Ramadan, no class. No, we have to go to class.
Okay.
My class at 5, and we have to go to class at 5. And now we are already physically in the class, so I have to go physically in the class. All this because we cannot use that as an excuse. Same goes to production. You have to do shooting outside, in the middle of the daylight, in the middle under the sun. Then you have to do it. You have to do it because this is how the meaning of Ramadan feel. You have to feel how others feel, and it's the same also in production. So I remember those times when I have to go out and find stories, as when I was a broadcast journalist, and then sometimes I have to, but there's no sports in Ramadan. There's no sporting event, except we have football at night sometimes, like now also Malaysian football, they play at night. But normally it's just training, and you have to go out to find news. This you need to do without thinking that, it's Ramadan, so I have to cut half of what I have to know. It's always 100% in what you do. So that's how we have to face during Ramadan.
I see. So whether it's Ramadan or not, you still have to give your all for your job.
Yeah.
So
it's the same.
Considering it's a Ramadan, I want to ask, why is the production, why is the running time at 8 o'clock? Do they not consider it to be a little bit later?
The news.
Yeah, the news.
You cannot change the news because of this has been 8 o'clock is a time that been set by the government for the news. So it has to be at 8 o'clock. If you want to change the time for the news, you have to apply it first. You have to because 8 is time for news, all channels in Malaysia, except for I think not they call it terrestrial television, the free TV. They have to show news at 8. Unless you have 2 channels, I think one of the channel may choose show something else, but also you need a special approval to do that.
I see. No wonder.
Yeah.
So do you have apart from good experience, do you have actually worse or bad experience in the media production team? Anything that is but you remember it because it was something.
During Ramadan, you mean?
It can be during Ramadan or anywhere in your years of being a media practitioner.
There's a lot of bad experiences that I had, and because it's a part of parcel doing work. But I look at it as something that is a learning curve that you have to go through. I've been to places. I went to places where the crew forgot to bring the tape and the camera don't work in front of your guest, and all this that you have to go through. That is how you learn how to be a good broadcaster.
I see. That must be very frustrating for someone to forget to bring their camera and tape. I go. So I think stay tuned. We'll be right back after the commercial break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this, people. So stay tuned. Hi guys, we are now back in Chit Chat Ramadan 2.0 after our commercial break. So, Dr. Harmi, once again, what are the challenges that you face in the media production that maybe people outside the media, non-media people do not know?
Okay. Of course, there's a lot of challenges that we have to face in doing in production. Like I said again, in media, as a media practitioner, there's various fields. You can be a journalist or news editor or even camera operators, all in the same field, or being a host. The challenges that we have is so many for me to tell. How do we start? One is like the challenge of if you work in news, the challenge of getting the news.
Wow.
Getting the news when every day there must be news. So as a journalist, that I need to do story tonight. What story that I have to do tonight? Of course, your boss will give you, they call it your assignment, and then you, if you assign to do something today, you need to get it. The thing is that when you work in a newsroom, it has to be done daily, and then there's no how to say this. It has to be done at the same day at the time frame. You can tomorrow I continue tomorrow lah. No, it has to be today. And if you assign to get something, you must get it. By hook or by crook. This is something that I learned from TV3. It's better to get what do you call it, bergaduh at the place, then you come back without the news. So I mean that you must go and you must get. And that attitude that you must have, that I must get it. No matter what, you must get it. So you go there, you find the news, whichever angle. To find the angle is another one. Whatever angle that you can get, then you come back. You come back, you write the news. And you write the news, tonight they're going to use it. And that is the end of the day. The next day is the same. But when I started doing production, I have to do a TV program. And then there's a deadline for that. The challenge that people don't know from behind is how to get it. People see on television is nice, but people don't know that the background, the story in producing that, and to get the guests, to get the content of the program, to do the editing, to make the program look nice, and to prepare, and all these things, it takes a lot of time, and then it's a challenge by itself that people don't know. Being a TV host, people say that it's a nice work in front of television, being famous. During my time, there's no Facebook, no Twitter, so I don't know how it feels now. But those time, we just receive letter from our fans. Wow. So people say that you want to know how famous you are. So the number of kad raya you receive during Hari Raya. So you can see, because we sit together, you can see that this one person this high, the kad raya that she receives every day, and yours is this high. So that obviously that you're not as famous as her. So it's like that. Yes, the challenge as a host is how to be a good host, or how to be a good newsreader. And then it's not the same. Even though as a newsreader you read the what they call it, prompter in front of you, but the way that you read it, the way that you read, the way you express yourself, and being a host also, that how you prepare yourself, how do you bring and you bring up the program, and you light up the program. So the hard work that you need, the behind the scene. I talk so many countless hours in front of a mirror. I talk, last time I was taught by another at that time to drive a car, and while driving, you talk to yourself, and you try to this is how to be a good
speaker.
No, to be a good commentator. So you commentate whatever you see around you. So you drive a car, and in front of you, there's let's say the Honda Civic, and you say that, oh, in front of me now is a Honda Civic, and this Honda Civic is the plate number is W something something. The car is from Kuala Lumpur, obviously, and this model is third model of Honda Civic. Judging from the person who drives the car, it's like a young guy. He might not be, he cannot buy the car yet, but maybe he come from a rich family. The father bought for him. All that come from your head when you watch that car. So only thing is that at that time I was reminded that when I stop in a traffic light, not to do that, because people look at you weird because you're talking alone in the car.
Yeah.
But nowadays, people, all of you are doing that, the same thing. You are now weird people talking yourself, and no one say you're crazy when you talk alone in the car, because now we have all these hands-free thingy.
Yes. Correct.
So all that countless hours behind the scene to be able to be the challenges that we have to face to be a good media practitioner.
I see. I have a question. Actually, do you need to have a specific voice when you become a media practitioner?
Yes.
Like TV3, like, you know, the same
all TV stations are the same. To be able to work on television, you must have a good voice. Yes. How to come up, how to develop your voice coming from the diaphragm, from the inside, not from here, but from here. So there's a way of doing that, and like me, the process of becoming a newsreader, that I went to the training with TV3 that time, and I was sent to do this, and I was given a mentor. I was understudy to a mentor that that time Normala Samsudin, she was my mentor, and she guided me and taught me how to do all this. The voice you need from the inside, and yes, every station have their own in-house style. That's why we sound alike. From one station they always sound alike, and the other station they always sound alike, because we were trained how to talk like that, how to present like that. It's always the same. The tone that they use, the melody that they use when they deliver is the same, because they come from the same person and come from the same teacher. So it went down and down and down. It was passed from one generation to another generation to another generation. But for those of you who wants to be on television, yes, you must have a good voice. But don't feel bad because of some might not be born with a good voice, with a deep voice, but there's a way of to develop the voice suitable for television. Not to say your voice is not nice or not good. It's just that how to make it suitable for for television, because people the deep voice that on TV, you need to have a deep voice, and the voice coming from the inside. So I have two voices. Everybody has that. One voice that I use to talk to you. One voice is I use when I present. And it's always, every time that I do this for 2 hours, presenting alone or commentary alone, I go back and sleep because it's very tiring, because when you have to control your voice. But when you talk like this, when I'm doing now for 2 hours, it's okay. Because of you did not use so much of energy of pushing the diaphragm and out. There's a technique of doing that. Come to my class, then I teach you how to.
Okay, noted. Can. So that explains why most of the media practitioner has the same template of voice when they present.
Yeah.
So being a media practitioner, you obviously have met a lot of people from various backgrounds. At some point, do they does their negative attitudes affect your integrity? Maybe at some point they do something.
Yes, I met a lot of people, mostly sportsmen. Just now you gave me a question whether I can do entertainment or not. I forgot that I did entertainment once when I did my internship with the BBC in Birmingham. With the BBC, I did, believe it or not, I did entertainment. I remember that I interviewed Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol.
Wow, Shah Rukh Khan.
In London. When you look at these people, I met a lot of people, sportsmen especially, from Michael Schumacher to I've seen photo just now then showed with Eric Cantona, and then so many. And you become humble to see how they reach a certain level. They are superstars, but some of them, yeah, of course, some with a bad attitude, yes, but most of them are very nice and very kind. So those people with that stature, and they can treat you nice, and why can't you? You know, I remember that talking to David Beckham and about it, and he's very nice explaining things to me, and then treating his fan nicely and talking to people. It's not easy being them and being on a limelight, and then but at the same time, because it reflects me to my work back, because at that time I was a TV3 newsreader and personality. So if you yourself only famous in Malaysia, and then you feel that you're a star already, how about these people, and then how they bring themselves? So this, yes, but whatever good that I have, I accept it, because they're very disciplined. Discipline is very important. Punctuality, like I said, sportsmen, they are very punctual, mostly because of we live, time. You have to be really taking care of the time in order for you to be a good sportsman. All these give me help me in my career to follow whichever I seen good, whichever I seen not bad. Bad I will not follow. One thing that I think that I can share with all of the audience, and I can share with you, is that to be able to be success in this field is that I remember what Zana Raut told me the first day that I read news for TV3. He told me that as long as your feet is on the ground, then you are okay. Once that you're walking on air, you will not be long in this field. I hold that till now.
I see. I guess it must be exciting for you to meet famous people from around the world. It must, the thrill of meeting such people, kan? So thank you, Doctor. But I believe we have come to an end to our show. So I want to thank our guest, Dr. 𝐸𝐚𝐺 Mohamad, for his willingness to be part of today's episode. So don't forget to follow our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you guys next week. We have two more episodes. So until then, goodbye. Assalamualaikum.